Okay, so we are going to be inviting our first speaker. So our first speaker is she is Professor Olanike Adeyemo. She's going to be talking on inspiring purpose-driven change makers, and she's going to have 50 minutes, and we have 20 minutes Q&A. Okay, so I wanted to hype you a bit before you come up. Please, we need to hype you. So Professor Olanike, Adeyemo is the first the pioneer DVC and secretary to the Oyo State government. So I'm not going to read through, but you can see I also want to pick out those very distinct attributes. So she has a deep understanding of broad development challenges in Africa. That's very important. And our most recent project, which is facilitated by, $625,045 US. Wow. You didn't say wow. Wow. USAID grants in collaboration with colleagues at Mississippi State University, USA, and World Fish, Malaysia, is titled Improving Biosecurity. How many of you know what biosecurity means? I'm sure you don't know. Don't worry. She's here to. Professor Olanike Adeyemo is here to tell us. Please welcome Professor Olanike Adeyemo. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. Unfortunately, I'm shy like her. I don't like being hyped. If you want to know about me, just put my name in Google. Yeah, and there's really no need to go through all that. So you can please take it up, Prof, and put my the intro of my slide. But before I go on, I want to honor the Vice Chancellor, who I know very, very well. When Mrs. Akimbongwe called me, I said, she knows me very well. We are both of the Academy of Science, and even before then, as co-DVCs, when I was the Pioneer Deputy Vice Chancellor at the University of Ibadan. And I'm here. She called me shotgun. But I really want you to know that despite how busy I am, I consider this very, very important. I'm one of those women that feel that the world has lied to us that women cannot be friends with women. We cannot help each other. We cannot be with each other. So when is a woman affair, unless I physically can? She called me and I said, Tuesday, I won't. We have our executive council meeting on Tuesday. I was there till 7 p.m. yesterday, so there was no way I could be here. And then I made all the right noises. And then she dropped and then called me back. I saw she called me back again and said, I just checked, this Wednesday is not Tuesday. So I said, once I can physically be here, I'll be here. So I'm very happy to be among women. I'm very happy to be here. So I want to beg you to please go with me. I speak very fast, so if you need me to slow down. But what I tell myself is that because my brain is trying to catch up, my mouth is trying to catch up with my brain, that's why I speak so fast. So I'm very smart. So I will be talking about inspiring, confident, purpose-driven, change-making women leaders. I'm Olanike Adeyemo. And one of the things I would like to start off with, she called me and said, Mrs., I leave my Mrs. home when I come to work. When I'm at work, I'm fully Professor Olanike Adeyemo. And that's why I like what we do at the University of Ibadan. We don't use Mrs. Because it's one of those things that that people used to profile women. So what if I'm not married? Each time you call somebody Mrs. and you call me MS, is a problem. So it's something that I take seriously. I had to wait a little bit before I started having kids. And, most of those things gives you more insight than you know. And so when I had my children, when I started having children, and I would get to church, suddenly everybody started talking about me, Sister Nike, and then it was Mommy Nifemi. So, and I would fight, and people couldn't understand because they thought I should take pride. Because I knew an auntie that was very close to me, got married in 1982, still didn't have children at that time. So I will be there, and you call me Mrs. Mommy Nifemi, and then you will call her Sister Bola. Each time you do that, what do you think comes up in our hearts? So most of these things that we do has to be intentional. If you don't take anything away from here, we have to be intentional about everything. And that is what, if you don't take anything out, that is what you should take. Every decision, every choice, put thought to it before you do it. So I thought about it. They went to report me to my husband, and I said, by the way, it's also Biodun, so don't call him daddy, Kinikon. But it wasn't about me, but I could do that because I had insight, because I had a bit of delay, and that gave me empathy. So let's start on that premise. So I have, please move on to my outline. I have the outline. I'll just, I don't want to go through it because I have limited time. So I'll start. I'm somebody that likes, please go on. I like to talk in quotes. It helps me to think. It helps me to clarify. So I'll start with this one. Marry a man who believes in outsourcing. Marry a man who believes in your self-preservation. Marry a man that looks for easier ways for you to get things done without suffering. Not a man who would reject pound yam because you didn't bend down to pound the yam for hours. And I always say when I give this talk that if you are married, I'm sorry, I cannot help you anymore. But perhaps you'll be able to help your daughters to make the right decisions. There's no woman that is really, it's because of where we live, this path that we are in, there's one woman that will get to the top of her game without having to make a choice of leaving the marriage if she doesn't have a supportive husband. So, if you are in a marriage that you have to bend down, I'm sorry, I've not been to Bodija market, which is the major market in Ibadan. I don't think I've been there in the last 15, 20 years. I outsource because we only have 24 hours in a day. So that is the truth. You cannot, time is the only currency that you cannot get back once you spend it. So we have to be aware of that. This one says everything is within your power and your power is within you. This one says you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. This one says the biggest barrier for women is the thought that they can't have it all. You can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can juggle while I'm married happily, I have 4 children. So you can have it all. I never dream about success. I don't dream, I make it happen. And if you keep dreaming, if wishes are horses, beggars will ride. Women need to shift from thinking, I'm not ready to do that, to thinking, I want to do that, and I will learn by doing it. You don't have to be perfect to start out with. Everywhere you go, as a woman go, you pay some price. And then those people that thought you were stupid will teach you, and you become wiser. And then you beat them at their game. I always tell people, underestimate me. I became a deputy vice chancellor at 46. It's intentional. I went to my faculty yesterday and somebody looked at me and said, you don't look like when I was a deputy vice chancellor, I kid you not, people will come into my office and they'll be talking to my principal registrar because they can't just wrap their head around as me with all this makeup and everything. I was a deputy vice chancellor. I've never fitted the image of whatever I'm doing. Up till now, I still don't fit the image. And I'm very happy not to, because this aging thing, I will fight it to the end. So I think I'm here to have a good time. So just have a good time with me. If you need to stop me, stop me. I'm here for you. I came all the way from Ibadan for you. I'm not a morning person. So I had to psych myself so that I'm not grumpy when I get there. So if I got up early for you, you are better get something from this person. So I'll start with the introduction. You can go on. I don't do... So we have this acrimonious debate around feminism, women empowerment, and equality. It has been around for a long while. But in the last 50 years, you agree with me that things have changed. We have advanced. She's in leadership. I was a pioneer deputy vice chancellor. The image of a vice chancellor, deputy vice chancellor at our university is graying old men. So if we are here, and I said they've not been able to remove your steez. That was what I told her. This VC thing has not removed the steez. I'm very happy to see that. So if we are here, then we have made progress. So, but we still have barriers. I think Mrs. Akingbongwe alluded to some of the barriers. And most of these things are multifactorial, depending on where you are. Our peculiar problem in Nigeria will be different from what they face in the other countries. So we have unconscious gender bias, which is systemic, usually built into recruitment process. One of the things that used to irritate me, I kid you not, is the fact that each time I get pregnant, I go on maternity leave, I cannot define my annual leave. Men don't get pregnant, duh. So they are robbing us of all those privilege indirectly. Most of the time, we don't put thought to it, but that is it. Men don't get pregnant, so why should I sacrifice my pregnancy, maternity for my annual leave? They're not the same thing. So those are the systemic barriers. Because if you accumulate your leave, you can do some other things with them. So already you are disadvantaged against your peer who is a male who doesn't have to get pregnant. Even if he's pregnant, you can't see because the pregnancy is with somebody else. So, but the truth of the matter is that we all have unconscious bias that impacts our perception. As I came in, you looked at me, you must have your perception. You must have an impression. So we have it. And that's why I say, if you don't take anything, it's about being intentional. We all have it. We judge women that decide that I want to be a stay-at-home mom because we think they are lazy. Whether we don't say it out, we think we are all special because we are at work. But a woman it's about choice. A woman that decides to stay at home and not work, it's her choice. The Bible says comparing themselves to themselves, they are not wise. So it's about choice. So the other thing that sets off is that as a leader, you have to do some things. And that's why people wear suits, not suits, so that they will look the part. It's never going to happen to me. They know in UI. I think they've given up on me. And that's your state government now, they have given up on me. The first day I came, they said, civil servant, can't wash Shokoto. So it's not going to happen. It's too late. The first time he saw me in trousers and he liked me. So you will not come and use your reggae to spoil my blues. So I'm intentional. So, and the very next day I wore it. I will wear whatever I damn well like to wear. Not at 55. It's not going to happen. And I've been like this since I was young. Because those things is about your mindset. And you can grow the mindset. So we have to behave in a way, if you are like assertive, they will say you are bossy and all those kind of stuff. It's about gaslighting you. The truth of the matter is I will get into it. So the second thing, this one, what are the barriers against women? I told her I like to talk. So we have societal barriers, unspoken societal and cultural cues. All these messages that we have received, a woman is trying to be an engineer, they say, why don't you be a nurse? Oh doctor, why don't you be a teacher? So that I take my day later on to school. Those are the kind of things that we were raised with. And those are things that impact deeply into you. And some of us were raised by stay-at-home mom. And so those are the examples that we had. And so we thought we couldn't. And then you have organizational. So when you even get to the workplace, you have others in the workplace. One of the first things they will do at work, right, is to make a woman the head of welfare. Yeah. Who told you I'm your wife? So those are things that happen that we just take and we just take it. I don't. If you are in a meeting of men and you are deputy vice chancellor, they want to serve tea, everybody looks at you and say you only me. So you have to, do all these things intentionally, not being abrasive. I'm actually I'm a guy's girl. I call myself that because I have so many male friends, because you need them. So it's not like you'll be abrasive and you fight, but subtly you will say it jocularly, and then they will get the message. They'll try you once in a while, once or twice. I remember as a DVC, one of the DVC position is parallel, but one of them was older, and then he will send me a text. I'll wake up and he'll say, Laura, go and represent me. I was the youngest, I confess. And I think this man didn't get the MO. So one day I called him, I said, have you realized that it's 3 months we are the same. The only person that can delegate to me is the vice chancellor. So usually I will just reply and say, maybe you might want, I have a full day of schedule. Maybe you might want to ask the Dean of Arts to do that. So those are the messages I will send. And then one day I had to go into him and say, all this message, I think enough. You are not supposed to, I'm never going to be available for you to go and send to anywhere. So those are things that we need to address. Don't get annoyed, stand up and deal. Stand up and So, but I tell you, all these ones are small to the barriers that we have within ourselves, which are individual barriers. So, what are the societal barriers? I will just break it down a little bit, go through it quickly. Gender assigned roles, I've said that. Sacrifices imposed by marriage and family responsibilities, yeah, she has said that. My son just got engaged, and I was trying to talk to him so that you know that times have changed. And so we're talking about something he was trying to get more healthy and everything. I said, oh, maybe I should talk to the fiancé. He said, Mommy, you don't need to bother about that. I'm the one that is cooking for the family. You would have been shocked, but I wasn't sure because I knew if he didn't do computer science, he would have been a chef. So we were very happy eventually when he settled for computer science. I'm still not sure he will not go to his primary love. But that's the world we live in now. There's no assigned role. Let the person that does it best, let him take it up. And my husband knows I didn't want to marry. So every time he's always pampering me and helping me along with this marriage thing. So I thank him. So you have to know yourself. And then that will determine. That's why I'm saying we can help our daughters. The Bible didn't say half plus half. It said 1 plus 1. So you have to be complete in yourself before you join with somebody else. So lack of access to informal network, because of the restrictions we have, most of the time deals and decisions are made later in the night. In government circle, you don't have any serious meeting until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But then if you go, then they will say, I hope if you have an Igbo or Hausa person beside you, please interpret. I'm fully Yoruba, so I speak in parables. So I apologize if you think my English is not good enough, but that's the person you got. Blame her, she got me to come and talk. So I speak a lot in Yoruba, so I apologize if anybody is not on board. So the other thing, we need to own your success without being labeled as being arrogant. I don't allow anybody to not give me my flowers. I hand them. So I will tell you, if you didn't call my name the right way, I'll tell you that's no. She sent me the flyer yesterday, yeah, and she put formal. There's nothing formal about me. That thing is never going to. I'm the pioneer deputy vice chancellor, research, innovation, and strategic partnerships. That is never going to change as long as we have the University of Ibadan. I pioneered that position, so I don't accept formal. It's beneath me. So I told her, I prefer pioneer. And she did, and she changed it. I won't be salty and be annoyed, because that's going to just affect my blood pressure. Like I always say, you stand, you deal. Unconscious or hidden biases, organization about women's ability. Men in their little mind think, we are helpmates. If you are going to help somebody, are you not a stronger person? God already said it in the Bible, that we are their helper. Can you be stronger than somebody that will help you? But they have conditioned our mind to think we are weak. So men look at women and think they can't. And they say to you, they behave it around you, and you imbibe it if you are not careful. Ladies are less cerebral. If they want to give, they will dump down, say, come and give the vote of thanks, and then the keynote will be the man for a departmental thing. Or they'll put you and make you matter. You go and supervise who is the meal and be sure that everybody eats well. But that is how you are going to be projected, by taking the stage, not by being in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen enough in my house. I'm not going to come to work and then somebody will shove me in the kitchen again. It's not going to happen. So those are things that we should take note of. Being ignored, you are at a table, you are having a meeting. I'm very sure it has happened to her. You will say the same thing, and everybody will pretend as if they are suddenly deaf and dumb. And then a man will say exactly the same thing, and then they'll be, I never let it go. And I'll say, oh, thank you for amplifying my voice. And then if black people could blush, you will see they will blush across. Because I said it earlier. But you know, most of those things, it's a skill that you have to learn so that you don't become aggressive. Because there are skills to actually handling those things that you need to acquire as well. Network, coalition, alliances. And the other thing is setting us against each other. So when the DVCs are going, they put a woman against a woman. So they set us up, give us one slot, and then make us fight for that one slot. So we need to create more space for women without making women compete against women. What are the strategies? Because she's here, I put in that slide. Affirmative actions, diversity quotas in most of those things. Insist. I've had a lecturer in one department in my faculty say, women will get pregnant. I don't want a woman in my faculty. But it was just vocal enough to say it. Most of them think it, they don't say it. So when you are there, you have to be sure. You've already gotten the job, but you have to be sure you open doors for other women. Don't join them to say women are lazy. I have a lot of female mentee. And when they want to be lazy, I'll come and tell you, what is your excuse? So I'll tell them, so it's actually easier for us to mentor other women because with us, they cannot give the excuse they will give to a man. Programs like this one, thank you, Ma, for organizing this for these beautiful ladies. And this one is very important, Ma. I started it when I was deputy vice chancellor, mentorship. We just come into the university and they just throw us in. Mentorship is not supervising somebody's PhD. Some people are even just fighting to leave you after their PhD because you are just not aligned. So there are algorithms now that you can use to match people to mentor. Have people volunteer, professors, people that have gone ahead, even retired. We used to retire professors, female professors at the University of Ibadan. Let them volunteer to mentor, and then you can use algorithms based on specific need. Mentoring is not for life. Oh. Don't become a liability to me. I will only agree to mentor you for 1 year, after which you are on your own. And you have to tell me exactly, not because you like my face, what quality do you want me to? So that is targeted and you know what you want, and so that you can get it. I have one of my mentees, I didn't recognize her. She's a mentee in whom I'm well pleased. So I do it across the board. She's in Unilag, I'm in U. I don't know. I came for a program and then she ran after me and said that she wanted me to mentor her. And then that was it. And she's really helped my ministry as well because there's no way you wash somebody's hand that your hand will remain dirty. So if you do it right, you are going to benefit from the relationship. I also want to, honor my security details, Dimiji, Niyi, and all the other ones that are outside. Thank you for coming with me. I apologize. So, what are the individual barriers? Please go on. Imposter syndrome, thinking you are not good enough. I think the VC already mentioned that. Perfectionism is part of fear. You want to work on your PhD or work on this paper until it is perfect. Nothing is perfect. You need to step out. Because it's part of the things. It's fear, actually, that makes us think that it's not perfect until it's perfect. I'm not going to put it forward. You are never going to be perfect. You just have to accept you the way you are. Lack of confidence, risk aversion. And one other thing for women, inability to build the right alliances. One of the things I did very early on in my research, as a researcher, when I leave Nigeria, I don't talk to you when we get outside of Nigeria. When I come back, I can see you. And I see people make the same mistake. They'll go to a conference and then they will be going around in groups. So how do you build other network if you came with Unilag people and then you guys are following each other like whatever all over the place? So I don't do that. So those are things that I said intentionality. That I've come to this conference, I'm going to make additional, I'm going to extend my network. If you are not intentional, you just find out, when you met us, we'll have lunch when you come back to Unilag. So if you've been doing it, please stop it. So the other one is work-life balance, family choices, and caregiver priorities. Those are things that if we already are in it. I have an aged mom, and she's been stressing me because I don't want her to go. I hear when your mother is gone, you are in trouble because I'm the one that say all those silent prayers for you in the night. I'm so badly behaved. So for God to be taking care of me, she's the one that is doing it. So you get to a stage where you have to do all those things. But you can do it in a way that doesn't impact you. Be there. But as much as possible, get help and let people help you. Because You cannot do everything by yourself, or you will die. And one of the intentions we want is for us to reap up, to enjoy our old age, not be handicapped because we are going up and down, back and forth and all that, trying to be Miss Perfect. So what does the future hold for us as women? It's in our hands. The future will be what we mold it to be. So we ought to be aware, every one of us here, that what we do today determines the opportunities that we are available for the next woman. How are we supporting her in her role? Are we constantly picking and comparing her to the male, or picking on her and saying, everybody, it's easier to stand at the back and complain about somebody until you are here. That's how, when you know, because you know the things that are going on. When I first became secretary to the state government, I would look at His Excellency and he would make some decision and it just doesn't make sense to me. But because he wanted me in this position as a technocrat, I kid you not, and I asked difficult questions. But after a while, I saw that when you are in leadership, you see further. You have a lot of information. You see wider. You see so many dimensions that other people don't see. So when you make decisions, it's not, they are only seeing the fragments. So you've put your VC there, honor her by trusting her judgments. And if you see something and you know something, honor her by going to her. Most of the time, she'll be able to explain to you why the decision is being made, instead of lambasting her behind her or saying anything. That's one of the things women do to each other. We should recognize our privilege as leaders. This is your position that doesn't mean anything to you. It's what somebody else is aspiring to. So you are a leader. And within our sphere of influence, how are we laying and building the foundation of the future? By intentionally tackling the barrier. She's tackling the barrier by organizing this. These unilag resources that can be used for some other things. So that is intentionality. What does the future hold? You need to empower yourself to overcome your barrier. To yourself, be true. I'll still get to that. You need to consciously develop leadership qualities which will prepare you into positions. Nobody will hand over a position to somebody that is incompetent. They always say opportunity and preparation, they have to meet, they have to align. You are every woman, you are empowered, you are brave, you are strong, you are resolute, you are today's woman. You can make the future you desire happen. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. You have a choice. And I think that is important. I'll go to another quote. Man's power of choice enables him to think like an angel or a devil, a king or a slave. Whatever he chooses, mind will create and manifest. No wonder the Bible said, my fear came upon me. So whatever your mind thinks, you can manifest it. So we design our lives through the power of choices. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. If somebody abuses you now, it takes two to tango. So you have a minute to decide whether you want to slap the person or you want to walk away. And whatever you do will determine the outcome of that encounter. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. So I'll go to you have a choice. Around the world, women now have influence, to have power to influence decisions that affect their lives. So being able to make one's own decision is the most empowering right any person can possess, irrespective of their gender. So like I said, the emphasis should always be on choice. So like Madam Vice Chancellor said, are you putting yourself forward when opportunity arises, or you have killed yourself? If you cannot campaign to yourself and win the campaign within your mind, how can you campaign to somebody else and you think they will vote for you? So it starts within yourself and your mind. Are you raising your hand? Because you cannot have the two. Are you standing in your power? Where do you desire to be? And I'll tell you a story. I was going to ask, I know we have different cadre of people here. At least I think, Temitope, you are not a professor yet, are you? So from her, I know we have people that are not professors. So I became a fellow of African Academy of Science before I even became a full professor. I'm always putting myself forward. It's said scientifically that when men are 40% prepared, they are like this. When women are 80%, they are like this. But I've always, I check my equipment, I tell you, I kid you not. I've always believed that maybe I should have come as a man. The audacity of the things I do. But the truth of the matter is that it's not about the ball, so it's just about believing in yourself. And one of the things that help me is that what is the worst case scenario? They will say no. Then I will go and smart a little bit, get annoyed and, be a bit moody for 2-3 days. And then I'll bounce back. I will recover, like he said. So I went for this conference, and Professor Ibidakobe, we became firm friends. God rest his soul, was the president of the Academy of Science at that time. So it was like it was the World Academy of Science that organized to bring upcoming lecturers, we were young lecturers, at least they thought I was young. And then they brought us to this meeting, and it was in Nairobi. And they now had this round table talking about, we have a problem in our academy. It was Academy of Sciences all over Africa. We don't know who we're going to hand over to, blah, blah, blah. They were, the way they are, but we were cowed, and we couldn't say anything. These people are not serious. The way we lambast Gen Z and Millennium, these people are not serious. Kiniko. They went on and on. And I was uncomfortable. Then I raised my hand, and I said, how? There's such a wide gulf between me and you. You are the one that need to bridge the gap. You are the ones that need to mentor people. I said, for example, now, even if I want to be Academy of Science in Nigeria, I don't even know how to get there. How do I know all these old people to even approach them? That was what I said. And then, everybody paused. And then the people started clapping thunderously. And then the session finished. And then Professor Ibidakobe came and said, because of course I had to introduce myself. I was from Nigeria and I was the president of the academy. Send the CV, we joked and we became firm friends. And we even served together on the governing council. He was he's one of my old people, and God rest his soul. And I know he's of the University of Unilag as well. So we got back before we got back to Nigeria. So like I said, I will sit. Every day I will make a decision where I wanted to sit because I was trying to make connections. So I sat with this old man. You know how the old people like to talk. He was a professor from Cameroon. And then we started talking, we would gist. And after the first day, he would come and seek me out. So we'll sit down together. And the very last day we were leaving that program, he looked at me and said, "Are you a fellow of African Academy of Science?" I said, how can I be? Do I look as old as you look? Because by then we were close. He said, "It's people like you we want." I said, "But you have not seen my CV." He said, "I don't need to see your CV. Go and get the form." That was when they were still doing manually. I became a fellow in 2012. Yeah, I became a professor 2011, but you know the way it is with our professorship. It takes like 2-3 years before you eventually get there. So technically I was, but I wasn't. So he said, I went to the form. He said, I will nominate you. So I went, because it was the last session. I went to the secretariat, got the form, got back. He wasn't there. And I kid you not. So there was this other guy that was sitting with us who was also a fellow. And I said, I got the form. Could you nominate me? He looked at me up and down and like and then he disqualified me on sight. Maybe based on my look and age. So maybe this guy was just deceiving me. So, and I was walking out. I just met the professor. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, you were not." I said, "Well, I went to pack my bag. But I told you to go and get the form. I couldn't have done that to you." So he took it and signed it without seeing my CV. So I went to submit the nomination and then sent my CV and all that because I wasn't prepared. And I kid you not, I got in. First time, I got in. And I tell you, it just takes one step in. Because once you get those things, it's easy for you to open other doors. So let me tell you what happened with the Nigeria Academy of Science, if you like stories. So I sent it to Professor Ibidakobe and said, "Nike, call back." I said, "Well, your CV looks good though, but they won't be able to justify why somebody that is not a full professor is a fellow of Academy of Science." So went round. He told me, "Give it to 2 women. They are very fiery and fierce lady. If they support you, they won't have a choice. The men are afraid of them." So it was Professor Gladys Falusi, who turned 80 a few days ago. And then the other was Ekanem Braid, who was the first president of the Academy of Science. So I sent it to them. And then the two of them came back and said, "Nike, you are fine, but wait until you get your full chair. We don't want you discouraged." So for that reason, that is the kind of thing we do in Nigeria. But it wasn't from trying. When I got my full chair, guess who I went back to quickly? I said, "I'm a full chair now." I have a full seat. And with the Academy of Science, I got in the first time. So now I'm a fellow, Academy Africa, Nigeria, the World Academy of Science, International Science Council. So that is how it is. I will always put myself forward. Recently, Professor Falusi came and told me, "Okay, we are putting Academy of Medicine." I have my opinion about academy, all the other academies apart from Academy of Science. So I didn't know how to tell her because she's a beloved mom. So I dragged my feet and used my whatever as an excuse, and I didn't put in. June was the deadline. I didn't put in. So always you have a choice, but you have to. So how do you do it? You need to challenge your comfort zone. It's not about comfort, it's about fear. You have a pattern, you have a routine, and then you are satisfied with little successes. You look at people that are doing worse than yourself. There's a saying going on in the world that if you are in a group of 6 and you are the most successful, you need to leave that group. I'm not saying abandon your friend, but you need to go to a place where you'll be inspired and you have aspiration to do more. So outside of your comfort zone, you have growth, you have resilience, and that's where creativity lies. Also, when you are outside of your comfort zone, your confidence is increased. New opportunities open to you. You are free from stagnation, and you can move on. I want to go quickly because I don't want them to pass paper to me. So you need to challenge your prejudice, your stereotypes and bias that men are better leaders. We are the ones raising male children. So if they feel that way, we are the ones giving them that impression by calling our daughter and saying, "Wadrosi kitchen, and then the brother is playing Nintendo." So all those things that we do unconsciously. I have 3 boys and a girl. Funny enough, it's my daughter that is lazy because all my boys can cook very well. Because I didn't think I was going to have a girl. I'd given up before she came. And I will always use what I have. So they were the ones God gave me, then they had to do the work. So all my boys can cook. And I was raised that way too. I was raised by parents that were throw forwards. There was no gender aside when I was growing up. And I always tell this story anywhere I go. It's funny, but it resonates with me. When we were growing up, if we were going to eat, everybody knows the most difficult thing to do is pounded yam. So when we were going to eat pounded yam in my house when I was growing up, we would shout, "Talofe Jenye an issue." Because if you are not taking turn to pound, you are better eat yam. Yes. So if you know you don't have energy for pounding, we'll give you your yam. We'll separate your yam. That was the way I was raised. And I think that really helped me. Because there was never anybody that told me I couldn't. So please stop telling women that this one is too much. There is no dream that is too big. It's only cowardice that is keeping us back from achieving those dreams. So we can challenge this consciously. We are all mothers, we are women, by at home, in school, reinforcing. Anytime you see it in the bus, anywhere you see that a girl is being pulled down or even if it's your friend, you need to encourage them to say, "No, she can be whatever she wants to be." Norms, written and unwritten. One of the things that is after 40, even within the academia, you have less opportunity. That's why I like Schlumberger. They will take out the years that you have children. So those are things that, as per policy, that we can push that will dismantle those kind of barriers. So we need to communicate our desire and promote other women to advance and take opportunity. Madam Vice Chancellor, if they don't stand up, look for somebody. As a Deputy Vice Chancellor, there was a professor, Professor Jegede, I'm sure you know him, because he's a medical sociologist, so he has a lot of research with medical people. So I saw this prize in social sciences. So I sent it to them. That's one of the things you do when you are in leadership. You pester people. So I said, Professor Jegede, this Kiniko, I would like you to, you should apply on behalf of the University of Ibadan, as if it's UICV that you will send. But I was his deputy vice chancellor. He didn't have a choice. So he said, when he got it, this man, very much older than me, came to my office and he was weeping. He got it. So he told me, he said, first they said, kilo man should be no kilo day gun, kilo day. And I won't forget. A week later, I wrote him again and said, if there's anything support you need from the university, kindly let me know. How is the application going? At that point, he said, voila, deal. So he came to see me and said, I don't know, Kiniko, who will nominate me. So I said, who are the people that can nominate you? I contacted them from the university to say, I sent his CV, because if he did it by himself, it would have been a bit more difficult. And then he applied and he got the prize. That is what happened when you already self-defeat yourself. He never thought. When the day he was announced, before he even told anybody, he came to my office and he was weeping. He said, because I never said, but I said, I see your CV, you have done so much. But we don't recognize, we don't see ourselves. So